Oh, excuse me for a second. Looks like my screens got flipped. Welcome everybody, by the way. Welcome to the stream. How dare the screen? Yeah, I was recording something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So, it's been a while. Good evening, welcome. We've done a lot of things, I guess, since the last live stream. Mainly, we are currently playtesting the game with my patrons. And it's going great, actually. People seem to be liking the game, aside for a few minor, flaws that I've been fixing over the days. And yeah, generally speaking, right now the game is only available to my top level patrons, but tomorrow I will make it available to like all of my patrons. I know some people ask me to let them know, so here's your announcement, I guess, that tomorrow is gonna be available for as low as $1. So if you'd like to, play the game, you will be able. And then at Sunday, I will probably start showing the playtesting level on the stream, right? But because, currently we've been keeping it a secret, but then, after that, I'm not gonna care anymore. So, from the things that have changed since the last time, first of all, we have a little shader for the fields. As you can see here, we have little arrows going upwards, signifying the direction of the field, right? If we were to, for example, change this to something diagonal, now it's, going in the diagonal direction. I've also done some changes to the look of launchpads. So now the arrow kind of flickers before you get sent off while you hold it for too long. Because the previous visual was a bit confusing to people, because most people thought that previously there was like a little arrow that would get bigger and bigger as you get closer to, as the time gets closer to running out. And a lot of people thought that this means that the distance is getting bigger, like you get more strength, which wasn't the case. So now it's flickering. Hopefully that's a bit more, reasonable as to what it signifies. And other than that, there's been just a lot of little tweaks to the movement, like the fact that, hold on, let me modify this example to show you this. Right now the velocity of the player is sort of maintained if we run into a wall, something like this, right? So I can like run into it, and you can see that I go up a little bit and then I slide back down. Previously the player would just stop like immediately. Ooh, I didn't make it. There's also some changes to the edge detection to make the player not always stop like extremely rapidly. It's really difficult to like show on the live stream. It's mostly about like the feel of the game. And other than that, I also modified the controls for hooks. So previously hooks and anchors were using the same key. Now it's a different key, because anchors are using a trigger on a gamepad, and hooks are using X. So we're gonna have to clean that up. This is actually on my to-do list because I did this really quickly right before the playtest. So the code is not necessarily the prettiest. Yeah, and so from other things that we need to take care of, I have a small collider for the player written in here, but this will have to wait. Find control over camera framing, this can also wait. And handle edge cases where the walkable ends at a vertical surface. I also don't feel like doing it because I have no idea how to do it currently. This will most likely have to wait for optimize exported splines. But this is, you know, something that I'm gonna have to do in my own time because it requires modifying the Blender exporter, which I don't really feel like doing on the live stream because it's Python, and I'm not a huge fan of that. So the next playtest that's gonna be happening, hopefully in like a month or so, is gonna be focusing on puzzles, right? Because the current one only deals with platforming. So this is what I would like to experiment with today. First of all, finish the pressure plate because currently it's awful. And by awful, I mean it doesn't exist. It's invisible. It has like no renderer. It's just a square here. So we need to, add it some, give it a little sprite. As you can see, it's probably somewhere in here. Yeah, it's right there. And then one mechanic that I've been thinking about is teleporting yourself back to a place that you've been before. So let me sort of explain this a bit clearly, I guess, right? Imagine maybe you have a ledge like this, right? You are here. This is you. Oh, handsome fella. And I don't know, let's say that there's a button right here and the button like opens this door. So what you can do is you can go here, right? And once you're at the ledge, you press some form of a button on your gamepad. Let's say you press B. And then this leaves some sort of a marker in here, right? And then you can jump down, you can go to the button, you can press the button, and then you can press an actual button on your controller, maybe B again, which teleports you back to this specific marker. I've been thinking about video games that use this mechanic. I'm pretty sure there's plenty, because like this is one of them. It feels like the most common thing to think of. The only game that I could personally think of though was It Takes Two. There is one section in that game where one of the players has this ability. I don't know of any other games, but there's probably plenty. Again, it's just me not being knowledgeable about games, I guess. So if you know of any, let me know. But I wanted to experiment with this because I feel like I would play well into the puzzles and also into the platforming sections. Give me a second. I made myself a cup of tea, as always. So if you can think of it like that, for example, right? Imagine that there's a platforming section and maybe all of this is like deadly, whatever. They're like anchors, launch pads, right? And at certain point, you need to go down, but you also have an option to go to the left. And so like what you can do while like platforming, you can leave this marker here and then like go down and then you can zip back. And depending on like how much you want to use it, this could even serve as like a manual checkpoint for the player. So they can just, they can notice like, oh, there's a difficult platforming puzzle in here. So I'm gonna leave a checkpoint. And then we can make it so that if you die and you have this marker, instead of dying, you get saved and teleported back or something like that. I don't know, I just have a feeling that it would work well. Not heard of Velo, spotted in to-do list. Has it already been integrated with Bevy, or will you be rolling your own tools? What are tools? I guess is the question. Velo is a 2D rendering backend for Rust. It has nothing to do with Bevy. And in fact, it has nothing to do with UI. It's just something that lets you render rounded rectangles and lines, dashed lines. It's kind of like if you're familiar with HTML, it's like a canvas 2D rendering context. Yeah, so I will be using it for the UI overlay and also the UI in the game. But yeah, it's gonna be mostly written by me. Life is Strange, kinda, but it's more time manipulation with the rewind function. Okay, I mean, I guess, yeah, I know of that game, but it's a fairly detached example, I'd say. Are you making your own Bevy integration? Yes, I am. I actually have some code written right here. I'm not sure. We're probably gonna have to look into that. See if we can reuse any of that, because I set it up for my dev tools previously. This would be a cool thing to do as well, actually. How does it work right now? There is a extract schedule, extract fragment, velo target. Okay. And then render scenes does what? Render to texture scene, append fragment for fragments. Fragments are velo fragments. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at this. But yes, I will be writing my own integration. It was the one that came to mind. Yeah, I mean, it is, in a sense, it is the same, right? But like, I guess Viewfinder also kind of had something like that. Spoilers for Viewfinder, I guess. It's a really short game that you should play, by the way. But it has a gameplay mechanic where you can take a photo of yourself standing somewhere, and then when you use that photo, it's gonna teleport you there. Which is semi-related, I guess, but it's not the same. Yeah, but this, I feel like it has a potential to be like the main puzzle mechanic, because we still don't have that. That's the biggest bummer, I guess. We're trying to make a puzzle platformer, we don't have the fundamental puzzle mechanic for puzzles. Because when it comes to like spatial stuff, so, you know, spatial as, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I mean this, right? I don't mean this. It's not enough to make like difficult puzzles with that. If all you have is just like, oh, you can pick something up, you can move it somewhere, and then maybe you can like interact with things. Like that's not enough to make an interesting puzzle, because like you need to have a mechanic that adds depth, and usually that depth comes from something that has to do with either time or like non-Euclidean relations between space, right? Because that's difficult to reason about. So this is basically that, right? This is kind of like Portals, I guess, but a bit different mechanic-wise. So yeah, this is what we're gonna be playing around with today. Have yet to play, have seen videos on it. Looks cool. AF, Viewfinder. That's true, that is. It's a really cool game. It is a short game though. I know that people really complain about that. But it's definitely worth it. Just the technology behind it. Inside does a similar thing. Take control of another character to flip a switch. That's like a completely different mechanic though. I guess, yeah, but like, that's sort of like a Luigi Mansion kind of thing, right? Mansion. I know what you're referring to. How's Bevy been going so far, compared to Unity at least? I've been loving it. I fell in love with it since first sight. I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I am a bit anxious because it's going like too easy. I would say a lot of people, you know, when you read like opinions about Rust and Bevy in general, they're like, oh, it's so difficult, it's so like, you know, complicated or like different or whatever. But I haven't had a moment where like I wouldn't get it or something wouldn't make sense, right? It's usually when like I struggle with something, it's because it's my own fault. And then when I figure it out, it's like, oh yeah, it makes complete sense. So I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it to like everybody though, right? It's definitely not a thing that you should use if you just want to make a game. So like, don't get me wrong. Bevy hides a lot of Rust complexity though. That is true. Mainly the like the world cell implementation, which, you know, allows you to mutably access separate parts of the world, which normally in Rust would not be possible. I mean, it is possible, evidently, but, you know, it's not that straightforward as it is with Bevy. I was playing custom maps in Terraria with a teleport staff, but this is not exactly what you described. I've never really played Terraria, if I'm being honest. Remove Bevy and Rust becomes a lot harder with the borrow checker, references async threads, and so on and so on. What are async threads? Isn't like async and threads two separate things? So I'm pretty sure async is like a way of writing a state machine as a function that can like break execution and then come back to it. And then threads are like actual threads. Were you able to read the Log Games blog? Yes, I was able. Are we deploying to multiple platforms? Wondering how friendly Bevy is for deploying. No, currently I'm only building for Windows because I am on Windows. Like if you want to compile a game for macOS, you're not gonna be able to do that without macOS. So you need to have like a cloud setup, maybe like GitHub workflow or something. GitHub Action, excuse me, for doing that. Chroma key failed, I guess. Oh, I see. The cool teleport puzzle were in Talos Principle 2, but this is a 3D game. I haven't played it yet. It is on my to play list. So no spoilers, please. But yeah, I know that it has to... I don't actually know what Talos Principle is about, to be honest. Yeah, so going back to multiple platforms, I will be setting up a CI/CD pipeline eventually, but right now I'm only really like playtesting it with my community. So I guess once I get to the point of making a demo on Steam, that's when I'm gonna take care of setting it up. So I don't know. I guess the answer is, how is Bevy with multiple platforms? I don't know. When it comes to the Log Games blog, I guess, because people have been asking me about this last time as well, I think it's a valid blog, right? The author seems to went through like a similar journey to me, except, I spent like 2 years in Unity and decided to leave Unity, and they spent 3 years in Rust and decided to like go back to Unity. I didn't really relate to the problems described in the article, and I guess maybe it's gonna like come with time. I'm trying to think about the article. Hold on. Because a lot of the article definitely was like about the mistreatment that the author suffered from like the Rust community, right? And people, constantly telling them, oh, it's just a skill issue. Which is always silly. I always hate that argument of like, oh, you just need to, spend more time. Because it reeks with like Emperor's New Clothes, right? It's like, oh, if only you were smarter to see the beauty of this language, right? If only you have the intellect to appreciate this. Yeah, I don't think it's ever a good argument. But when it comes to what they talked about, like especially in regards to Bevy, I don't think there's been a lot of info on Bevy in that article. The UI argument, definitely valid. I'm not a huge fan of Bevy's UI. I will be surprised if they manage to come up with some like actually ergonomic API for making UI in ECS. But at the same time, I do think it's nice that they're trying, just like out of curiosity to see how it would look like. I hadn't considered GitHub Actions for that. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's I've been using it for. There is this really nice project called GameCI. In case you don't know, I highly recommend this. I've been using it for Solomon's Link, and they have a lot of useful actions for doing stuff. Mainly, for example, where is it? Hold on. Because a lot of them are for Unity, but they have like a standalone action for releasing to Steam, which is so good. Because if you ever had to release to Steam, they had like a custom command line interface for Windows where you need to like edit the configuration file and stuff. But they have like an action for releasing to Steam, and it's just so good. I just don't know where it is, but it is somewhere in here. Trust me. Oh yeah, deploy to Steam. So it's really good. I've been using it. Can recommend. I mean, if you just need to spend more time, you could just use assembly where you do need more time. I have no idea what you mean by that. Can you elaborate? If you just need to spend more time, like what do you mean by that? Yeah, but going back to the article, I feel like the sort of takeaway from it, I sort of agree with, right? Which is that, don't spend time creating some abstract generic systems for your game, hoping that in the end they're gonna fall into place and like make a fun game. And instead, focus on the game, on playtesting it, on making sure that it's fun. All of that I agree with. I guess the only thing that I don't agree with is that Rust is like forcing you to focus on the bigger systems, because that it seems like that was what the article was suggesting. Like the reason why the author couldn't like focus on actually making the game fun was because Rust was getting in the way. But yeah, I feel like since they've made a game in Unreal Engine and Unity before Rust, they probably know what's best for them, right? So I wish them all the luck going back to Unity and making their next game. I got the impression that they didn't like ECS very much. True. They were definitely, missing the ability to just use a global state and not worry about that. Yeah, so I guess to wrap up the topic about the article, I don't know. I feel like it was a really personal article, right? I don't think it changed my mind about anything, but I do understand the author. Yeah, okay. Let's finish that aspect of it, of the conversation, and move on to, I don't know, actually. Do we want to finish the pressure plate first? Or maybe start working on the teleporter? I guess we can start with the teleporter. Do I have anything in here? No, I do not. Oh, there's another thing that I've done, which may be helpful to some people. So when I'm not in development mode, right, I wanted to make it so that once I compile the game, it's just one executable right here, and it doesn't require any additional directories and stuff. And Bevy has this cool thing, which is like, embedded asset that allows you to like embed an asset, I guess, as the name would suggest. But normally it embeds it to a different source, and it uses the same path that you use to include the bytes, which has to be relative to the current file. So what I did instead is, if we are not in development mode, right? So if I'm building the game for release, I have this custom little macro inlined here, and I'm passing the actual asset path relative to my asset directory, right? So it's the exact same thing that I'm using to load my textures and stuff. It's just, the name of the file, because in this case, the file is a top level file in my assets directory. And then in this macro, I also pass it a virtual directory, which is something that Bevy uses under the hood in their embedded source. And I use the relative path as the key, and then I include the bytes relative to my current file. So what this allows me to do is register my own default source, which is just the memory asset reader with this directory as root. And this essentially swaps everything for embedded assets, right? So if I were to build this game for release, asset server, when trying to load this file, it would actually try to load it from this memory asset reader, and it would find this little, embedded texture. So this was awesome, because now I can just, send an .exe to somebody, and that's all they need to run the game. Will there be a pixel art stream? I don't know, man. I'm really bad at pixel art, though. That's the problem. Maybe. Maybe. I guess we're gonna need to make some art for the pressure plate. Okay, so the teleporter. How do you want to handle it? I'm trying to imagine how it would look like. Would it be like immediate? Would there be like a freeze frame before it would happen? If there was a freeze frame, it would kind of look like the hook. And then leaving another thing that I would like to experiment with as well is to allow the player to sort of set up a direction that they want to leave when escaping, when teleporting. So this could be fun because then you could say like, oh, I want to escape in this direction, and then you like jump down and then you teleport yourself and then you like launch yourself up. Could be a mechanic. So that would have to be another state, probably like launching. I'm gonna set teleport. And then I guess we're just gonna teleport without anything else. Okay, so let me just steal this little state. And we're gonna handle it here. Okay. So we can actually probably match this state. What do we want? Just these two. So when we set up the teleport, we probably need some place to store it. We can do it here for now. We're gonna have to split it up eventually. I feel like there's a lot of information in here. This can just be a vector too, and then direction as well. Could probably be an entity actually, the teleport itself. Doesn't matter though, let's just make it happen. So we also need a key binding for that. And the problem with the keybinds is that I'm running out of possible things for the keyboard to bind to. The gamepad is easy, right? But the keyboard is like, what is the player supposed to press? Because they're already using shift, they are already using space, they are already using E. And also using keys is kind of difficult because, for example, if you decide to use E, this means that you can no longer go to the right and press E at the same time, right? Because that's not possible. Okay, respawn, teleport. I guess F for now. Oh no, I'm already using F for something else. Yeah, I don't know. Let's use Q. Okay, and that's easier on a gamepad. It's probably just gonna be east, right? And also I need to reset it. Do we have the next state? No, probably. Probably could use that. Okay, so if we are no longer pressing the key, we're gonna wanna leave the teleport. Set. Let's go back to free run if that's the case. Also, we're gonna need to store the information about whether or not there is a teleport set. Because we probably want to use the same button, at least for now. If this is going to be a regular mechanic, maybe you need to buy the mouse button. Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. I'm not following these live streams closely. Where are you currently compared to the pre-Bevy version? It's not comparable. The pre-Bevy version had only one gameplay mechanic, which was the anchor, and nothing else above that. It has some cool like level loading and dialogue system, which we don't have yet, because right now we're focusing on gameplay. I am currently playtesting gameplay mechanics with my patrons, and we have much more than just the anchors from the base Unity version. So I guess we're further in terms of the gameplay, but not further in terms of the surrounding tools. I see, good luck. Thank you. Okay. So for now, maybe let's set up a timer for the teleport as well, so it doesn't happen immediately. Right, do we have some timers here? Yeah. We can use the same timer as for the hook. What's the problem here? Oh. None. Okay, actually, I guess we can make it like that. Right, so this is gonna be that has to be a tuple. The first one's gonna be the position, and the second is gonna be the direction. I don't think there's a point in having them separate. So now in the teleport state, if we've just entered the current state, we're gonna wanna reset the timer. And then just tick it as usual. And then if the timer runs out, we're gonna wanna go back to the free run state. Oh, wait, hold on. We can actually store... No, we cannot. Never mind. Forget I said anything. You're making the UI from scratch with Velo, right? Are you still using Bevy ECS underneath or something else? I don't know yet. Probably I would like to avoid it, but we'll see how it goes. I guess I wonder if they manage to like merge the picking or upstream the picking thingy with like per entity events that can propagate. Maybe it would be doable using the ECS. But I'm really used to, you know, the traditional retained widgets tree with a reconciler, like in Swift UI or React or whatever. So we'll see. Though we do desperately need to like start working on the UI, if I'm gonna be honest with you. During the playtest, there's so many little additional things that I would like to add as an option, and currently we don't have options. So even something as you know, fundamental as switching between full screen and windowed mode is currently like under F11, just to have something, because you know there is no menu, there is no options. So I'll definitely have to you know, figure it out sooner rather than later. Okay. Yeah, that picking library is nice. It's kind of in a weird situation right now though, because they now have entity events upstream, but it's not compatible with that library. Oh, so the entity events themselves have been upstreamed? I feel like even if it's just the events themselves without the picking behavior, that itself would be really useful. It's a different implementation from the library. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. Because, I mean, it was extracted from that library, right? But I guess it diverged so much. That's what I got from like reading the README of that library. No, they wrote a different version for the upstream one. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. So we can just teleport the player, I guess. Do we have the transform? Maybe. Oh, we'll also need to modify the physics. Oh, we already have the physics. Well, that's awesome. So I guess maybe use some if-let right here. Position direction, it's gonna be equal to controller dot teleport location. So there's gonna be position. Rotating the velocity is gonna be tricky though. right? It's gonna be something like physics. I mean, is it gonna be tricky? It's gonna be physics.velocity is equal to physics.velocity.length times direction. Actually, it's really straightforward, I guess. Extend this, okay. So this would be the teleport state done. We press the button, we wait some time, 100 milliseconds to be exact, and then we teleport ourselves wherever we want to go. Okay, but we cannot use physics velocity here. We're gonna need to store it in the teleportation state because during this timer we want to freeze frame and then we want to release the player. So we're gonna store the velocity in the state itself. So we capture the velocity at the moment we press the button. And then we do that. And during this state, we're just gonna do physics frozen some 0. So the player stays in the same spot. What about this though? So what's up with this? Oh, there's no comma. Let me take a look at the launch state because it's gonna be kind of similar. Let's see. That's just the snapping. Yeah, then we just modify the launch direction. Okay, this should be practically the same. Just gonna do a little, oh, wait, not here. Here, controller dot teleport location is equal to sum. Transform dot translation truncate. That's gonna be the position, and then the direction. The direction is gonna have to use all of this. I guess we could we reuse this somehow? Guess we can steal it for now. And I cannot spell to save my life. That's crazy. Okay. Takes one argument, yeah, because it's a tuple. Okay, and then physics dot velocity is equal to vector2 0. Actually, let's do it like that. Probably don't need these things. Okay, does it even compile? Guess that's the question. I can't wait for Bevy UI to get some love in the next release. It is kind of a pain to use it currently. At least I don't have a nice time with it. Oh yeah, I just looked at a few examples and I decided not to use it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, hopefully they're gonna figure something out. Especially, I am kind of hopeful when it comes to the the scene macro that they've been talking about, because that could be fun. If we could actually like get a scene macro that can define the hierarchy in the ECS, and then be able to like write a reconciler that, you know, lets you declare the UI declaratively, and then the reconciler itself applies changes to the ECS. I feel like that could work well for UI, because currently, you know, having to manually like modify the nodes and like move them around whenever you need to change the layout is kind of crazy. Okay, what have we done? I guess is the question. Where's the player? Come here. No, not you. You. We have the player. Where is it? Teleport location is currently none. What was the button? Q. Okay, so I'm gonna press Q now, and I'm gonna hold it. Nothing happened. Fascinating. Oh, because we don't even transition to these states anywhere. Okay. Let's go to free run. Input teleport active. Okay, and now we need to check it. So if controller dot what? Hold on. We can actually do it here immediately. If controller launchpad, no, it's not a launchpad. Man, I'm all over the place. To my defense, it is evening, and I am a bit eepy. I am a bit tired, so it's not my fault. What are we doing? Teleport. Okay. If teleport location is some, then we're gonna wanna go to just teleport and pass the physics.velocity in here. Otherwise, we're just gonna do player state set teleport. Okay, does this make sense? Any interest in using Rive for UI? I found the Bevy. Oh, hold on, my game obscured the chat. I found the Bevy integration to be excellent. I'm a huge fan of like using springs for everything. You know, I'm not a huge fan of like animating using keyframes and stuff like that. And that's my rudimental understanding of what Rive is. Maybe I will look into it, but like, I don't know. Player controller once again. Also, where's the? Do we have the player state somewhere in here? Yeah, there's a player state. So currently we are in free run. I press Q. We are in set teleport, and the teleport location is being set according to my mouse position. And then I release Q. This is now static. We are back to free run. Now I go here and I press Q again, and it teleports me after 100 milliseconds. And it should also probably reset the location, but other than that, it works. It's a state-based vector engine. This tells me nothing. Oh, they do have like a custom backend for like rendering vector graphics. That is true. I remember reading about that. They made it open source, right? Some time ago. I don't know what state-based means. What isn't state-based? Let's go to the teleport, and now we're gonna get rid of this afterwards. So we're just gonna do controller teleport location is equal to none. I think they're using Velo for the backend. I think I love how we're just like talking. Yeah, I think this, I think that. I'm pretty sure they have like their own backend and also allow you to customize it, like to plug in a different backend. I'm gonna look it up. Right, because I'm referring to this. Rive renderer, now open source and available on all platforms. Dropping in once again to leave a like and support. Thank you very much. It appeals to me, an ex-Flash developer. So yeah, see like what I'm getting from it. We used the existing open source solution to render our content like Skia and the HTML Canvas API, right? So this is what they used to use, and now they're announcing a new thing, which is their own thing, right? Am I getting this wrong? I don't know. Anyhow, I will look into it and see what's possible with it. Rive Bevy GitHub page tells it is using Velo. Maybe it's using an older version of Rive then. Because this is fairly recent. This is like March this year. The editor is behind the subscription though, as far as I know, which is kind of a turnoff. If a code-based workflow is possible, that would be cool though. Yeah, that sounds like a bummer. We reset the teleport location, so now we can recompile this bad boy and see. And we probably need to render something to display the arrow, because right now we don't even know the direction that we're gonna be going. So I'm pressing Q, I'm choosing the direction, I go somewhere else, I press Q again, and I get teleported. I fall down, and nothing happens. Okay, that's awesome. Oh no, because it got destroyed. Hold on. Let me try this again. I'm choosing this direction, right? And I'm like falling down. And I'm not going anywhere. Let's try to do this in the air. Oh, wait. Okay, so it doesn't get reset for some reason. Why is that? Let's talk about this. Is it some weird, like... Yeah, I know what it is. I'm pressing the key continuously, so it's like really quickly switching between the states, I think. which is something that we have solution for. Right, we just need to store the last teleport action. Right here. Which probably there is a way to make it a little bit tidier. I actually added a little function for this called active changed, which now does what I used to do a lot, which is it checks if the ID of this action has changed, and then also returns true or false depending on whether or not we are active. So I can just pass this as mutable and it will update it. So now we can make sure that pressing the button once will only trigger one state transition and not multiple of them. It probably doesn't make sense. Probably I could have just used pressed to see if the button was pressed this frame. I don't know why I did it this way, to be honest. Here it makes sense because we want to sort of allow the player to press a button before an action becomes available, and then once the action becomes available, it automatically performs it. Here it doesn't make sense because the action is always available. Anyway, setting the thing and now teleporting myself. Setting again. Teleporting myself. Okay, but I'm still stuck to the ground for some reason. Let's try to do this in the air. I guess like this. Yeah, okay, all of my velocity like gets lost. Not cool, not fun. Good evening, man. How is the game coming along? Watching you is making me inspired to try in game development as well, but Rust feels intimidating for a computer science freshman. Yeah, I would definitely, like, if what you want to do is like just make a game, I would probably start with something like Godot. But the game is going great. Thank you very much. We are currently playtesting it with my patrons, and next stream on Sunday I will probably showcase the playtest level, you know, play it a little bit on the live stream to show you guys how it looks like, and then we're gonna be working on that level from then on, because this current one is really sad. There's not, it's kind of embarrassing to show to people. Yeah, but thanks for asking. Okay, so I will try to debug this and see what's actually happening here when we release this. So apologies, you're not going to be able to see the game. Okay, so what are we dealing with? Velocity is something. So there's that. The direction is also okay. Okay, so we do get the velocity boost in here, but then something is gonna happen to make it go away, and I just don't know what. So we are currently in the teleport state. None of the other states are gonna happen. And I guess let's just go to the physics state and see. Oh, that's a confusing name because the physics is called player in here. Okay, so the velocity is still correct. Can I somehow watch a property? That would be cool. I don't know how to use the Visual Studio Code debugger. Wait, what happened? Why is the velocity 0 now? Okay, it's a different velocity. Is there a property called velocity? Right? What is this? I guess maybe it's defined later and that's just how it is. Okay. Add to watch. Okay, I am watching it, but does it only mean that it's gonna detect changes? I guess so. Oh, the player is frozen. Okay, so that explains it. So we override the velocity altogether and nothing happens. Yeah, that's my fault. I guess we can actually freeze it using this velocity. That's gonna be a little bit better. So, okay. Oh wait, I need to set it up again. Let's set it like here. Oh right, now we're talking. So if I wanted to like jump this gap, I can do this. Almost, okay. That is doable. That's completely doable. Yeah, okay. That's awesome. But we definitely need some visuals for that. Because it's really confusing right now. Okay, and the box teleports to us because that's actually what the box does when it's too far away. Okay, I do like it. Just the fact that I can do this. This is kind of fun to do. We do need visuals though, because like you probably don't know what's happening. I just realized. Okay, what time is it? Okay, 1 hour. I'm gonna take a quick little break though. And I'm gonna, see you in about 6 minutes. I just joined. Welcome to the stream. There's definitely some more control necessary here. Because what if we want to reset the thing, right? We probably would like to reset it if we put it in the wrong place. Maybe these should be separate buttons. One for setting the thing, and then the other to, you know, teleport us back. But I have no idea how I'm gonna set it up. Oh wait, we could use. Oh, okay. That's that was the really good suggestion by this one chatter, which is to use mouse buttons for the keyboard input. That would be really cool. And then we can use bumpers on the gamepad. Oh, I like it. I like that idea. Okay, where's the input? So let's have teleport and then set teleport, I guess. Yeah, so it's not gonna be a key code, is it? There's gonna be a mouse button. I don't remember how to use those. Gonna be honest with you guys. It's still a button input, right? It's just a mouse button. Which one would feel better? I guess left for setting the teleport and right to going back. So then following this logic, so all of this was respawn. Set teleport would be the left bumper. Which is, I guess, called left trigger here. And then teleport. This is kind of interesting. Because it is more like a PlayStation naming convention, right? Like L1, L2 instead of LB, LT. This would be right trigger. Same button, hold to jump back. But how would we know if we want to go back or if we want to reset the thing? I think it would be annoying. Because then it's like, oh, I want to reset, but I hold it for a bit too long, and now I'm teleporting back. Because we want it to happen like almost immediately, because it is gonna be happening during like platforming sections. right? It's not something like, you know, healing in Hollow Knight, for example, where you're like, oh, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna hold it for like an extended period of time, and then it teleports me. Because ideally you want to be able to do that in mid-air. And currently the timer is just to sort of not have it too I don't know how to put that, too sort of disorienting, I guess. Because we have that with hooks, because they also teleport the player. But maybe eventually there's gonna be no timer at all. So I would still use 2 buttons, at least for now. That makes sense. I was thinking of it like a slower puzzle mechanic. Yeah, like ideally it's gonna be both, because we're making a puzzle platformer, right? Oh, I'm lost. What am I doing? Again, teleport. Yeah, you know what? I think should setting the teleport even be a state? Maybe it should be just something you press it and that's it, and we don't care. Oh no, it has to be a state because we need to choose direction. Never mind, I'm silly. Forget I said anything. Okay, so if we are no longer setting the teleport, we want to go back, and then here we just have the timer. Okay. All right, where's free run? Here. Hi, just caught up after watching your intro. Hi, hello. Have you played Scapegoat? No. Some interesting platform puzzle mechanics in there, including a moving teleport back. What do you mean by moving? Sounds interesting. Moving as in you can place it on a platform and it moves, or? I'm looking at it on Steam, by the way. You release a little mouse that can walk along the walls, and pressing a button teleports you to it. I see. I haven't played this game, but looking at it, it gives me a weird sense of like nostalgia. Like I've played games that look like this, but not this one specifically. Okay, controls work. Now the visuals. It's very good. There's also a Scapegoat too. I will check it out. Although, huge announcement, by the way, because now I remembered. I was scrolling through Steam today, and I noticed that Rain World is like 65% off. So I bought it, and I'm gonna play it this weekend. So I just wanted to announce that because I know people have been asking me if I played this game, and I haven't yet. And a lot of people have been saying that I should play it. So I just wanted to say that I will play it this weekend. Nice, stream it. I don't want to stream it because I feel like I should like experience it, alone kind of thing. I don't know. I've never streamed a game, so that would probably be awful as well. I was thinking about streaming Portal 2 because I do kind of want to replay Portal 2 like third time this year, I guess. And it seems like it would be fun to live stream a game on a weekend that I've already played, because then, I don't need to... I'm not destroying my experience, I guess. Anyway, I keep thinking about this teleport and how to set it up, because I do like the idea of using an entity for that, having like a specific entity that represents the teleport, and then use that. It would be a little bit more verbose. Also, we need to split this crate. Now as I'm thinking of it, like this is getting ridiculous. The amount of files in this common crate. And then there is the possibility of like having multiple teleporters. To like leave one teleporter here, leave the other at different place. Maybe play it alone, then play alone on stream if it motivates any decisions. Yeah, I could do that. Record for the most number of plugins in a single Bevy game. What do you mean? You mean other Bevy projects don't look like this? I thought this is normal. I think the plugin pattern is more normal now, yeah. I need to add this to my to-do list. In overall, I guess. Because I'm currently using schedules for everything, and I feel like I could use some like proper system sets that make sense organization-wise. I don't know how to say that. Never mind. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna like add a crate in common for our teleport. I'm not sure if I want to represent it as an entity just yet, but we need some rendering logic and stuff like that, so that could be useful. Oh, hold on. I need to add this as a module. Post update after their propagation. Okay. Yeah, we don't need you. At least not yet. And I guess we're gonna just query for the player. the player, and we want some player controller. And presumably the state that we are currently in. Player state. Why doesn't it want to? Okay. Oh, actually, we don't need the state. If let some position direction is equal to controller teleport location. Yeah, this is when we want to actually draw it. Yeah, we don't need the state at all. Direction times, I guess, 32, and I guess we can also add it here, times 12, and this can be probably also red. Okay, so this is gonna draw a circle with an arrow, kind of like the original launchpad. Okay. Yeah, okay, this makes much more sense. Now that we can see what's happening. It feels cool. I like it. I will need to like use it in actual levels to see what it's worth, but I have a good feeling about it for what it's worth. Let's just make it white because the red is kind of distracting. Where's the to-do? Finish the pressure plate, finish the cube, because it doesn't have any graphics right now. Just remembered. Oh, interesting, a teleporter launcher. No, it's not a launcher actually. I mean, it is in a way. It redirects your current velocity in the direction that you stated. Right, I can demonstrate. If I just set it here and then, you know, teleport myself back, I'm not going anywhere. But if I jump off the ledge, I'm gonna get launched in that direction. Also kind of like a portal, yes. But we don't use that name in this household. In fear of Valve's lawyers knocking at our door. No, I think it is distinctive enough though, from like, you know, portals. I dig it. Yeah, me too. Like, not to be, you know, too full of myself, but I think it's a cool idea. It's also not like the most original gameplay idea in the world. I'm pretty sure, like, there has to be a game based around that. If not a PC game, there's probably a Flash game that's played around with this already. Okay, let's just commit these changes. Just the teleporter plugin. Can you shrink into this? Yeah, okay. That's just a different level. New controls. Set teleport. I guess this should take priority over this. There's a lot of else if that could happen here, probably. Probably all of these should be just else ifs to dictate the order of things. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Teleport plugin. Yeah, that seems alright. Yeah, I'm gonna play around with it. Because ideally I should start working on the puzzle level or puzzle playtest, I guess. Immediately. I don't see the point in like waiting for something. But for now, let's take care of the pressure plate so that it's visible, so that I can actually use it in the playtest. Let's put it here. Let me get rid of these. And then maybe let's take this door, put it here, and make it so that the pressure plate is the thing that opens it. So what is this? Pressure plate. I keep looking at the outliner for the name, despite the fact that the name is here, like always. Pressure plate. Okay. It's more flexible. So I guess if you want to just teleport back to a position, you can point it down without it flinging you. Yeah, you could do that. Right, like this. Yeah, so now I'm standing on the pressure plate and it opens the door. So we can nicely experiment with it when it comes to the graphics. So, A-Sprite. I don't know how we want to do this. I guess, do we want the pressure plate to be affixed with always? Or do we want to make it like adjustable? I guess fixed with is gonna be okay for now. Probably the size of the player could be okay. So let's make it 32 by 16, I guess. Let's save this. Pressure plate. Okay, let me open the terminal. Just to see visually sort of what we're going for. Probably need some pixels for it to like go beneath the ground. Make sure that it's not, you know, overlapping. Not overlapping. Make sure that there is no gaps, is what I'm trying to say. The pressure plate is just a sensor, right? Didn't she want to make it so the object has to be settled on it? Or like pressing it down? Yes, I was thinking about this. I don't know if it's worth the effort though, because it is like idealistic, right? I don't think gameplay wise it would change anything, because it's not like you can levitate the cube above the pressure plate. Okay, it does have to be visible somewhat, so I guess this could be like always here. And I cannot draw to save my life, especially on a live stream. The pressure is killing me. Get it? Because it's a pressure plate. This is nothing. I just I guess we can go with it. Might just improve game feel if it moves realistically with weight on it. Not sure. I mean, this is pixel art though. We need to remember this is gonna be like 420, not 420, 480 by 2070 pixel art. So, you know, the pressure plate moving is gonna be basically this. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. Then we just want it to like highlight itself when something is on it, kind of like the terminal. Okay, maybe I don't want this. Maybe I just want the corners to have this like Minecraft crafting table vibe, if you know what I mean. Yeah, whatever. Let's save that. And let's go back here and see what we can do with it. Pressure plate. Do we have a spawner for a pressure plate? Yeah, spawn pressure plate. I'm gonna need some asset server. That is actually not a sprite. That's something else. If I could find it. Oh wait, it's here. Sprite sheet bundle. What do you want? Exactly. Why is Rust Analyzer scanning roots? What are you doing? What have I done to you? I'm just gonna guess it, I guess. This is I don't remember the names of these things. We use this somewhere else. Hold on. Can I go now? Yeah, thank you. It's a texture atlas. It's a texture atlas layout. Okay. So what else do you need? Texture atlas, texture. We have these and a sprite. Okay. Let's take the layout out of this. Index for now can be 0. And then image is just the handle itself is the component. Do we have the pressure plate parser? What updates the pressure plate? Oh, this thing. Okay. And what do? We set the status. Okay, so we can probably use that for rendering as well. Okay. Perfect, ship it. Yeah, first time. Where are the settings? Okay, so what we actually want here is animation. Ooh, do we want padding? Probably not. Okay, here we go. We're gonna have to align it somewhat, but I'm thinking maybe we can avoid this altogether, right? If we were to just make it so that it's the size of the collider, which would be like, I don't know, I guess something like this. Yeah, and now we can just go to Blender. Or maybe not, hold on, because I do want it, I want it so that the origin is on the ground. Because needing to like offset it each time at the perfect amount is going to be annoying. So as long as the offset is here, that would be cool. What do you do for triggers? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Which triggers? To align them? Sorry, toggles. Oh, I see. Toggles are the same way. Toggles, they are just on the ground, right? And then the sprite's anchor is offset. So I'm thinking about the same thing here. Because I guess the question is, does the box collider, the cuboid collider, does it have like it doesn't have a center, right? You cannot offset it. I don't think so, at least. So yeah, the collider center is gonna have to always be in the same place, but we can offset the thing. But then again, we can just do this. Sort of the path of least resistance. Yeah, okay. I think that's pretty decent. Oh, I can use both selection and the game. Do you clamp the position to the nearest curve? No, I don't. You need a child entity for positioning the collider. That's true, if I wanted to offset it. Or I could use the area trigger, which we do need to optimize, by the way. I've been also thinking about this. Because there's this nasty bug that I have that I don't know how to fix yet. Actually have it saved here. There are specific like set of curves that cause the closest point detection to not work, and it usually happens with like a flat surface. And by usually I mean exclusively. So my current idea is to just make it so that Blender also exports information about the type of the handle, and then if it's a vector handle, so the one that doesn't use the control points to bend the line, if that's just a straight line, we're just gonna represent it as a straight line. It should be, generally speaking, more optimal than the current solution, where everything is a cubic Bezier. But for now, let's make the pressure plate display itself properly, I guess. Draw pressure plate. Query entity trigger status with pressure plate. Context is not necessary. And then we don't need entity, but we do need some mutable texture atlas. I also played around with configuring windows, by the way, kind of a separate tangent kind of topic. And I couldn't make it so that it starts on the left side of my screen. Hold on a second, where is it? Oh, here. Because I know that there is like position, right? And there's like window position centered. And then you can say monitor selection current. I guess I could use index. Hold on, maybe this is gonna work if I just set it to 1. So that it starts on the correct side. I don't really like the fact that we like pass through it. I guess this would require another collider. So we need both the sensor and the actual collision so we can stand on it. And the cube. Okay, but for now, let me try restarting the game and seeing if it's gonna actually open on the main monitor. Okay, no, it did not. What about 0? If that's my 0th monitor, that it is gonna be okay. Oh, look at this. I said nothing. It works. Does your player controller handle stops? No. Why would it? We're just gonna make something like this, right? If I could draw it. We don't have step handling. Because I was like, who cares? Because that's true, right? Like if you have like just a bunch of stairs, you can just make a collider like this. And like nobody needs to know. And it makes the mathematics behind the player controller like 10 times simpler if you don't need to do that. Especially if you then consider that you can like fall down onto the stairs while like going to the right. And it's just, it's a whole can of worms. Whole new can of worms, I guess. Okay, so that's awesome. This works. For some reason, my secondary monitor has index 0, but I guess whether or not something is primary does not count. We still fly through the floor, by the way. I've yet to fix it, and I don't know how. In the playtest, what I did is I just took that dead zone and I put it here, like this, so it's not visible. And then if you fall through the ground, you just respawn. It's like typical game development. If it works, it works, I guess. Okay, I wanted to see the collider compared to this. Because currently the collider is decided based on the scale of this cube, which probably should not be the case. Right, we can change this, and this is gonna change the collider. So that would be, what, 14? Yeah. No. Oh, that's awful. Is it not centered? Of course it's not. Oh my god. Okay, that's better. I wonder how we can make a collider like this. Let me see. What are the options? This convex decomposition. Oh, would it be, what are these two? Convex hull and convex polyline? This just takes the points. What is convex polyline? And why am I not using it? Creates a new collider that is convex polygon formed by the given polyline. Assumed to be convex. No convex hull will be automatically computed. I actually don't get it, believe me or not. There are two ways of creating a collider with a convex shape. This is the simplest approach. It will automatically compute the convex hull of the given set of points. A convex hull is the smallest convex shape that contains all the given points. Convex mesh points indices. Convex polyline into the... This takes a mesh described by its vertex buffer and its index buffer and assumes it is already convex. You need to ensure that it is convex yourself. This would be more efficient than convex hull constructor because it won't perform any calculations to ensure convexity. However, if the input mesh isn't actually convex, the collision detection for that shape will give an incorrect result. Okay, interesting. So we can use convex polyline then. What do you want from me? You want a vector, okay. Will there be a box or something that's too light to press it? Thinking about the collider for the unpressed plate. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a common thing in video games. Or what if the box is on the side angle hanging off? I think it should still count. I'm gonna open Portal and check. Maybe that's the solution. I'm pretty sure, like, I think, hold on. I think, no, I don't know actually. I don't remember how Portal works. Isn't the button in Portal like something like this? So like if you put your cube like that, it's just gonna get stuck on the edges. I don't remember. See, another reason to replay this wonderful game. Yeah, for now, but for now I'm okay with the area detection. I don't think we need to like detect the pressure being put on that point. You actually have to sink the button in. Yeah. Depress the button. Make it sad. I probably spelled nothing correct in this in this entire variable name. User are vector of what? A vector of vectors. Let's make it like this, just for the sake of testing. What is your problem, sir? Allocations are not allowed in constants. That does make sense. I will give them that. What if I make it an array though? Could I somehow convert it into a vector without allocating memory? Try using conversion method. Copy self into a new vector. Well, that's a bummer. Wait. Oh, you turn an option. Why is it an option? What could possibly go wrong? The boxes don't weigh the plate down. They're power cubes that energize the plate when in close proximity, or some other explanation. Actually, I'm pretty sure I used that explanation back in the Unity version. That was my initial idea. I'm not kidding. And that was the reason why only the player and the cubes could power it. Because back then you could also like attach yourself to the cubes. That was like part of it. See what's gonna happen here. It is sad that we cannot just pass the array and we need to make a new vector each time. I mean, I guess we could store the vector in a local. Does it consume the vector? Yeah, it does. That's a bummer. I guess it's gonna use it for something good, hopefully. Look at this. Look at this little box. Okay, so now we just need to do some math, I guess, in our head. So first of all, this is not even, is it? Oh no, it is. It's 8. Okay. So the center is gonna be like here. And we want to go all the way here. Okay, so let's actually shrink this down to like 4, at least for now. We should look at this one because this is where the collider should be. Yeah, so starting from here, this would be what? It's 16 and 4. It actually says it right here. 16 by 4. So we're gonna start with -16 and -4. Then we go here, which is 11 and 2. So it's 11 and 2. And then we just mirror it. So positive 11 and 2, and then positive 16 and -4. That should do it. Okay, almost. Oh no, it is correct. It's just that nothing is standing on it. Yeah, perfect. Although I don't think the player can walk up this angle. Though we do have some additional space here. I guess we can just move these vertices up and that would be it. Like by 2 pixels. So like this. Okay, and now we can start to think about where the sensor is gonna go. I guess it's gonna be a child of it, right? Let's steal all of this. So this is gonna be the actual... I think I'm missing something. Okay, this is gonna be the actual pressure plate inside of it with the actual sensor. And the previous collider, which we can probably hard code as well. Because we're not gonna be changing the size anymore, so that's 14, I guess 4 for now. Trigger status should be here. Texture atlas, no. Sprite also not. Also not the image. Collider sensor collision groups, yeah. We don't need this here. We don't need the trigger. We do want the image to be on this entity. This should not be a sensor. This is gonna be terrain, and it's gonna collide with everything. Okay, I'm going crazy. How do you define that? Terrain. Oh, it's just group. Okay. What is this? Where is this from? Bevy rapier, okay. So now we're gonna have 2 colliders, one here and the other one here. And they will not collide with each other. Now in Blender, this is just gonna be, you know, a point. It will not, it won't need any of the like dimensions and scales and whatever. Okay, seems like something is missing. Oh, is the collider too small? Probably. Let's make it 6. Okay, and it's been 2 hours, so I'm gonna go on a quick little break, just see if it works. Hopefully it does. That would be a nice transition to a break. I don't think it does because I don't see the collider. Yeah, we're gonna figure this out after the break. I'm gonna see you in 6 minutes. So, quick little idea that I just wanted to check. Okay, what is this? Interesting. What I did, I commented out the colliders in the parent, because I was thinking maybe you cannot have like a collider parented to another collider. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So pressure plate entity. Oh, I'm stupid, aren't I? We need the entire special bundle. Because this entity does not exist. This one does. And it already has all of the transforms and stuff like that. So that's fun. So maybe I'm gonna, no, go away. I don't want you actually. I'm gonna go back to 4 just to see what's gonna happen. Oh yeah, that's actually perfect. Almost. I guess this should be a little smaller. I guess we could make this collider start like here. This would make sense. If I do say so myself. So what would that be? This would be 20. Okay, but other than that, it doesn't work. Apparently. Trigger status is working. Oh, there is no pressure plate on this. Okay. That explains a lot. Can I not remove? Attempted to take value of method remove on type. Okay. And what's the problem here? Oh, you want extends. What for? You no longer need them. And what was that? 20. So that's gonna be 10. Okay, and then we don't need this at all. We actually just want the entity. And I guess instead of change, we only want added. Although this doesn't matter because we delete the entire scene each time. Pressure plate parser. We just insert a pressure plate if there is a pressure plate here. Yeah, so actually, I guess we can just get rid of all of this. And just add a parser bundle. Right, it's gonna be a pressure plate. Pressure plate, okay. Anything else? Oh, you need a default. Oh, it even has the correct name. Oh, you cannot see that. Hold on. It has the pressure plate name. So that's awesome. We don't need this anymore. Okay, and I guess the scale should be just 1. Okay, there's a lot of things happening. You cannot see that right now, but we are at 4 frames per second. And I'm actually worried as to what is going on. It feels like there's like 10,000 pressure plates or something. Oh my god, I see what's happening. Okay. Okay, that's stupid of me. So the system was just like spawning a new entity every single frame, because it would like remove the pressure plate from this entity and then add it to the next entity. So is this used anywhere else? No, okay. Gonna need 2 different components for that. Let's make something like pressure plate trigger. I'm gonna add it here, and we don't need to remove this. And then update pressure plate. It's gonna use pressure plate trigger, and draw pressure plate is gonna use just the pressure plate. Could you invert it, make the pressure plate the parent? I guess I could. But like I need both tags anyway, right? Because the texture atlas is here. And the sensor is here. I guess we could just put the collider here at the bottom. I'm gonna try it in just a second. Okay, that still doesn't work. Oh, the trigger status works, but oh yeah, because trigger status. Yeah, okay. What this your idea makes more sense than this. It's gonna fix all of these issues, presumably. So now these are gonna go here, and these are gonna go down here. The sensor and the collider might need to be siblings with a common parent. I believe Rapier cascades collision information down an entity hierarchy, so the parent settings may be overriding it. Oh, that's interesting. I will check it out in just a second, but I feel like it's only if you have like a rigid body, right? Because I know that the collider like looks up the hierarchy for the closest rigid body, but we don't have rigid bodies here, so it seems to be working just fine. Oh, why is the box not colliding with it? That's interesting. Yeah, it must only be for rigid body. That's where I remember seeing the cascade info. Perhaps we spoke too soon. Let's see. Okay, membership 8 and filters 5. Why would it be 5? Oh wait, that's correct. That's the wrong entity. Collision groups. Yeah, that's all. That's for sure. And it belongs to terrain. So what is the cube colliding with? If it's colliding with anything. Yeah, it's entity, terrain, sensor. Fascinating. The fact that it works for us, but it doesn't work for the cube. Let's just see to make sure. I'm gonna get rid of the sensor logic and just says this collider. Maybe it is inheriting something else, like the collision groups. I don't know. Collision groups would make sense. No, it wouldn't make sense because it also collides with entity. No, yeah, it just doesn't collide with it. No matter what. Just to make sure, let's put it in all. What's weird is that it has the same group as the terrain, and the cube collides with the terrain. I don't see anything here that would like disable the collisions between them. Yeah, I have no idea why this would be happening. I guess it is a rigid body. But why would that change anything? Okay, let's try if this is because of the type of the collider. Like if I get rid of the convex polyline and instead insert this one. Maybe there's something weird with the definition of the vertices. Maybe it needs to be closed, but it's not because there's like the fifth vertex missing. Let's see. Okay, so it is colliding with just a box. Also, we can walk upstairs if we have enough momentum, which I guess is an attribute of a sphere. Okay, let's get this back and maybe do this. Okay, that's 5. Or maybe the winding order is important. That would be crazy though. Could be true though. What if the winding order is like in the opposite direction? It treats this like, oh, it crashes actually. Unwrap on non and pressure plate. Oh, here, okay. Yeah, no. So we cannot have overlapping points. It doesn't need to be close. But it is interesting if I reorder these like that. Yes, okay, it's not 5. The fact that I need to specify the length is criminal. I know that there's an unstable thing, right? Being able to like specify this as that, so it infers the number of elements. Oh, okay. So the winding order matters. That's interesting. It's good to know. So what is the winding order then? If we start with like 16 minus 2. 16 minus 2. And then 11 and 2. So we go here, and then here, and then here. It's like counterclockwise. That's crazy. Does it say it in the documentation? I'm just blind. Creates a new collider. A new 2D convex polygon from a set of points assumed to describe a counterclockwise convex polyline. Okay, that's good to know. Too bad it's like 3 function calls deep in the documentation, but okay. At least we know that it's not a bug, it's just, it's how it's supposed to work. How does it play on a gamepad? Hold on, because I haven't tested it. Oh wait, I don't remember my own controls. Okay. Okay, I love it. So that would be the pressure plate fixed or finished, I guess. Okay, and I guess on the to-do. Finish the pressure plate. Okay, we can quickly finish the cube as well, I guess. Let's just save this as a cube. I don't actually know how big the cube is. What are you? 8 by 8. Okay. It's gonna look like a circle, like a wheel, I guess. We don't really need, we can't really draw shadows from like one direction because it can be rotated. Let's leave it like that for now. Cube. Oh, this is cube. Okay. Collider, collision groups. Okay, all of this makes sense. So just get the asset server in here. Excuse me. Image handle image. Yeah, so I just added the sprite and the image handle, and that should be enough actually. Should work out of the box. Although we probably do want to, you know, give it some more states and stuff like that. Oh, it's actually not 8 by 8, it's 16 by 16, because these are extents and not the actual size. Okay. Let's see. Perfect. Not a huge fan of the hole in the middle, if I'm gonna be honest with you. What if there was nothing? What about something like this? Gonna go back to it, but first we need to get rid of the, maybe not get rid of it, but improve the renderer. Oh, this is also gonna have to be a texture atlas. Okay, and then where's the draw function? Right here. We no longer need gizmos, I guess. We can reuse this probably. So what we want is to modify the texture atlas. Index gonna be this, and now active is gonna be 2, this is gonna be 1, and this is gonna be 0. 2 are gonna be mutable. Okay. You can infer the type, I think. Yeah. So here we probably don't want to be using an animation. I actually don't know why I used animations with the pressure plate. Instead we can just make this into a little texture atlas ourselves. Okay, and now probably gonna wanna copy this, use it here. So tile size is 16 by 16, 2 columns, 2 rows. And we're gonna add some padding. Oh wait, we would also need to add it manually. Hold on. Let's make it like this for now. Okay. It's difficult to see if anything's changing. Just do this. So now it's 1, now it's 2, now it's 3. It's 1 when it's normal, now it's focused, and now it's picked up. Okay. So this is probably not necessary. I'm just gonna paint it with a bright color, just in case I set the index improperly by mistake. So by default, I guess it can just be normal. I do think it should stand out from the environment a little bit, at least. But we can worry about that later. Still holding thingies. What about something like this? I'm not a huge fan of the fact that if you just pick up the box and then you let go of it, it's no longer in your reach. I guess we would need to increase the distance a little bit. And also like falls through. Where like it would be in the range, but it's not. Like here for like 1 frame. Let me take this here. Like that, maybe. Wouldn't it be cooler if the 4th stage of the animation was a transition between 3 and 1 while it falls to the ground? Could be cooler, but it would also require a lot of work. Though I agree, like some sort of transitional animations between the stages would definitely look really nice. But right now I'm just like doing nothing because this is programmer art, right? It's probably not gonna look like this in the final game. I'm just procrastinating on doing the rest. Yeah, but I think this can stay like that for now. Yeah, and I also think that this would be it for today's live stream. A bit shorter than usual, but I need to go to sleep actually. Yeah, next time is gonna be a bit better because I'm switching time zones a little bit. So, where is my OBS? Yeah, I felt that low. So, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. It's been a pleasure having you here. Yeah, and the next stream is gonna be on Sunday, and we're probably gonna play the playtest level as well. So you know, it's gonna be fun. Anyway, you know, good luck with your projects and have a great day, night, evening, morning, whatever. See you soon.